Welcome back. In 2002, I traveled to Jamaica to produce my very first story on a young and upcoming gospel artist named Chevelle Franklyn. Take a look.
She was on her way to superstardom.
At the time when I was like, okay, yes, superstar.
Working with some of the music industry's elite singers.
Homegirl moving in the big times now.
With 3 smash hits under her belt and a highly anticipated sophomore album about to release, singer Chevelle Franklyn was about to step onto the world stage and become the next singing sensation. But just before her longtime dream became a reality, Chevelle had a change of heart.
I was born in St. Catherine, Spanish Town, in a little area called Toyspen. My mother has 10 kids. There's no father. It was very rough. It was hard not seeing a male figure around, and it was hard not seeing much love because there were more arguments. There was so many war and fights, and more than anything else. I think the roughest part for me was not recalling my mother ever hugged me. I don't know what it feels like, you know? Until when I was about 5 years old, I saw this lady and I asked her if I could come home with her. And she said yes, and I went home with her. I saw her going to church every Sunday. I watched her. And I wanted better. As I said, I wasn't happy being with my family because to me, there was no love, period. There was a lot of adjustment for me because, being in the ghetto, you don't have like a flush toilet. So it was different being introduced to, oh God, my own bed. I had a bed. It was actually because of her why I got a little education. Because while I was with my parents, there was none. So I learned ABC through her, and I first heard about Jesus Christ through her.
Although Chevelle found a physical safe haven in her new home, her mind and emotions were still in harm's way.
She always used to compare me against, look at so-and-so, and look at so-and-so, and look at so-and-so. It also break my self-esteem because the comparison all the time is like you lose it, you don't know who you really, you don't know who you are.
Chevelle stayed with Mrs. White for 7 years. As Chevelle grew into a teenager, their views began to clash. The conflict got to be too much for Mrs. White. Chevelle had to leave.
I was a 15-year-old. I don't have nobody around, so it was really hard. And then you just feel like, boy, I can't do it, It destroyed me emotionally. Suicide became my best friend at one point because it said to me, if you just do it, all your problems will end. You don't have to face anybody or try to explain anything or try to look friend from anybody. And there was a time when I was admitted in the hospital, the nurse would push our trolley in the hospital hallway to give everybody the medicine. When she's not looking, I would go and I would take a tablet out of everybody's thing and just take it, and I'll just sleep for days. And the worst thing would be when I wake up and see that I'm still alive. It was the worst thing because I did not want this life anymore. I didn't want it.
Chevelle would soon realize that something better was just around the corner.
I used this bathroom in a bar, and I was just humming, the greatest love of all. Somebody was listening to me outside, and I didn't know. And when I came out, he said, boy, he has this friend who's looking for this female to sing. And I sound like I have the voice for it. I ended up hooking up with the person, and I did the song. That was my first discovery. And then the next one was when I started coming to Kingston, and I met the first producer I actually met was Mikey Bennett. And he instantly believed in my talent.
She had this remarkable tone of voice, and that was what struck me first. She had this great tone of voice. you know. And I could see her 4 or 5 years down the road, but just being this great singer.
He helped to actually build my self-esteem as a singer. Mikey Bennett took me to a place where I was more thinking about what I wanted to live, in a sense, because of the love that he showed and the persons that he had as his friends accepted me and not wanted to change me.
Under the guidance of Mikey Bennett, Chevelle Franklyn became a household name with her smash hit, Nice and Naughty, and her distinct vocals on the song Mr. Loverman with reggae artist Shabba Ranks. Chevelle is now a rising international star.
I came back to Jamaica to do one more song with the same DJ.
She had just finished doing the theme for a movie, Dancehall Queen, with Beanie Man. So I was expecting that song, and also songs like Mr. Loverman. So I was expecting a secular show.
Although I was getting the things that I wanted and reaching the place that I thought would make me happy, I was miserable because there was definitely this hole in my heart. There was something missing and I knew what it was. I knew that it was Christ. And while on stage, I just broke down and I said, wow, I can't do this anymore, you know. I can't do this anymore.
And she started crying and she kept testifying.
And I said to the crowd, because it was a secular crowd, nobody expected it. I didn't expect it either. And then I said, there's a song that I always wanted to sing, but because I knew I would be lying if I sang it. And tonight I'm going to sing it for you. And I started singing Silver and Gold. At that point, I had no care in the world about how anybody going to feel. That here am I declaring Jesus Christ at a secular show and I'm supposed to be singing secular songs. And in the middle of my performance, just say, well, I'm going to serve the Lord. And from this moment is Jesus Christ. The things that I thought I would miss, I didn't miss because it didn't mean anything to me anymore. I thought it meant this much when it was nothing. You know, and then the joy that I felt, oh my God, irreplaceable. I thought, you know, the money and when you start to make the money and moving against the big people and, you know, meeting the superstars and thing, and you're finally there, but you're not there yet until you're with Christ. I would never, never exchange it for nothing, because I realize that this testimony has helped me. It has provided, through this testimony, a lot of persons got healing. And it makes me feel it was worth it. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. Jesus, everything's so sweet about you. I'm so thankful that you paid it all. You paid it all for me. He paid it all, and I'm grateful.
All these years later, and Chevelle is still making hit music. A few months ago, we featured her latest music video, Go in Your Strength, and you can see her body of work on iTunes. Producing her story changed my life. As a young producer, I was so insecure about my creative ability. I would often depend on my colleague, who at the time was Sean Baxter, to help me. However, for this production, his plane was delayed and I had to do the story all by myself. I prayed like I've never prayed before, and God guided me each step of the way. Truth be told, I still get a little nervous before productions, but I've learned to seek God's peace, guidance, and creativity. Don't allow fear to keep you from your destiny. Give it to God, and He will give you the strength to complete the task, even if you're shaking in your boots. Well, stay with me. We have more for you after the break.